Hey, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, then hi, my name is Erica, and today I am going to be talking about the Belle Aubrey Willy situation that is like about Eugenia Cooney, but I'm gonna try my best to not delve into that part of it, just because I don't think the dialogue around this is accomplishing much. And I mean, that's my opinion. Of course, other people are going to have their opinions. But if you don't know who Belle Aubrey is, she used to go by Pastel Belle on YouTube, and now she goes by Belle Aubrey, and she is a commentary channel. She'll talk about different situations. I think she might have talked about the Hannah Campbell situation. I saw that video. She did a few videos on Eugenia Cooney, and then so another commentary channel, Willy Mac, then made a video countering Belle Aubrey's video on Eugenia Cooney, and it's just a whole mess. And I feel like a lot of people have strong opinions one way or another in this argument, and it's not that I don't have a strong opinion, but I just think neither party is right in this situation, and in this video I'm going to delve into why I think that. So unfortunately, even though I said I'm not really gonna be talking about Eugenia Cooney in this video, I do think I should provide a bit of background because it is relevant to this situation. But trigger warning, if you don't want to hear this, this involves EDs. So Eugenia Cooney is basically a streamer and a YouTuber who is struggling with an ED. And basically a lot of people, including Belle Aubrey, don't think she should be on the platform because they think she is influencing people in a negative way. And I'll be honest here, I do see that side of the argument. I don't think deplatforming somebody for being sick is going to accomplish anything. And I know that in Belle Aubrey's video, she says she has no issue with people with EDs being on the platform as long as they're not influencing other people in a negative way. But here's my thing, and I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with me, and that's fine. But Eugenia Cooney is not she doesn't put out this meal plan. She doesn't tell people her exercise routine. Yeah, she does fashion hauls, and she shows her body a lot, even when it doesn't seem like it's necessary. Even if she's showing shoes, she'll still show her entire body. But I mean, she does fashion content, so what do you want her to do? Step away from the platform until she recovers? What if she doesn't? And I'm not saying she won't, but I mean, like if we're going to keep YouTube and kick people off of the platform for that, I don't necessarily agree with that. And I want to be clear here, I have struggled with an ED. I've been to treatment twice, so I know what it's like. And I also disagree with a lot of people encountering Belle that say like, well, if people are triggered by it, then just look away. Because I know this from going to treatment and talking to professionals, that for the most part with EDs, like, people can't look away. And I think that's why in the mental health community, there's a lot of misconceptions about EDs, because people are like, well, if something triggers me, I just step away from it. But with EDs, they're almost like competitive, and it's almost like you seek out what's going to trigger you. And in that case, that's why I do see Eugenia Cooney as influencing people in a negative way, because people see her and they want to look like her. But even if she didn't wear like revealing outfits, like, she could be wearing a baggy sweatshirt and people can still turn around and say, well, she's still encouraging people who have EDs. Because also another common thing about EDs is people wearing baggy clothes. So I mean, I feel like no matter what Eugenia Cooney does, people are going to say it's wrong. And I don't know, like, do we really think we should be kicking people off the platform for having an ED and triggering people with EDs? I don't think so. And in this part of the video, I'm going to get more into the argument Belle Aubrey made against Willy Mack. Now she says that Willy Mack slandered her in his video, and I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. And first, she starts off by focusing on Willy Mack's thumbnail, and I know Blossom from an honest conversation talked about this in her video, but like, sorry, I'm swallowing, but Belle Aubrey basically said, look at this thumbnail, he's making it look like Eugenia is crying and it's because of me. Now, no, I don't agree with that, because anybody who's any kind of a content creator, or if you're in marketing or any sort of field related to that, you know that if you want to get people to engage with your content, it needs to be eye-catching. It needs to look interesting. So when you show people with strong emotional reactions like crying, people are gonna maybe want to click on it. And I think this opens up a broader conversation, like, is it ethical to like clickbait and stuff? But I'm not getting into that in this video. But Belle does the same thing. She doesn't exactly put the most flattering pictures of people in her thumbnail. And then she was also saying that Willy Mack made her look found the most angry still that he could find a Belle Aubrey to put in his video.
First, I want you to take a look at this thumbnail and see how intentionally manipulative Willy is being. He took a picture of Eugenia crying about something that had nothing to do with me, and yet he's here trying to paint the picture that somehow I'm responsible for Eugenia crying here. He also went and found the angriest looking still he could from my video, again, to try to paint this image in people's brains that I'm angry and it's making Eugenia cry, because I'm the evil one and Eugenia's the victim. I bring this up because I think this thumbnail is the perfect indication to show how manipulative his entire narrative is.
I don't know. To me, in the thumbnail, maybe it's just me, but she didn't look angry. She just looked like she was mid-sentence. And I don't think that takes validity away from somebody's video if you don't like the thumbnail or if you think they picked a bad picture of you. Because if that's the case, then people will say that about every YouTuber, including me. Because when I'm making a video about someone, especially if it's something like that they did wrong, I'm not necessarily gonna show like the most flattering picture of them, because that's not gonna get as many clicks, as terrible as that sounds, and it makes me feel gross when I do it, but it's the way of YouTube. And another thing that Belle Aubrey said that I disagreed with was that YouTube agrees with her that Eugenia Cooney violates YouTube guidelines. And here's why I disagree. And this is a bit of a controversial take, I guess. But so basically, she says that in the YouTube terms of service, one of the things you can't do is like promote stuff that is going to harm people, and under that umbrella is EDs. Like, you can look at the YouTube terms of service right now and it will say that. But here's why I disagree with her here. And she also made this point. YouTube is a business, so whatever makes them the most money.
Actually responded, "Thanks for the info. Mind following her Twitter account so we can move the conversation to DMs?" Belle accepted, and this is what she relayed of the conversation. "YouTube just said they can't identify any TOS violations with Eugenia." Wow, it looks like YouTube doesn't agree with you. They agree with me.
Yeah, because YouTube never allows profit to get in the way of their good judgment, does it? That's completely ludicrous. The idea that any corporation would prioritize profit above, doing what's right is just a completely ridiculous idea.
She then says this means ad revenue is more important to YouTube than protecting their community.
Yeah, it's so awful to try to use your platform to keep kids safe on the internet instead of talking about why D'Angelo Wallace is the biggest douchebag on the internet.
I'm not surprised.
Another point Belle Aubrey he made that I disagree with is that she said her video was taken down because she included Eugenia's content in it, and she thinks so YouTube saw that as offensive. But here's the thing, and I know this from experience, so I've never gotten a video taken down, but anytime I say like ED, but I say the actual words, my video gets demonetized. So you really cannot say those words on YouTube. So in this sense, I do believe Willy Mackey's right that the algorithm just picked up on the words, because that's kind of what algorithms do. Even though I'm not a computer genius, I still understand that algorithms can pick up on certain words, but they don't necessarily understand the context of it because it's a computer, not a person. they're not going to say it's against their terms of service. So Belle Aubrey disproved her own point by saying, well, and plus, here's the thing, Eugenia, and this is also controversial, she's not exactly promoting EDs if she's not talking about behaviors and talking about her weight and all of that. Like, she's just showing her body in clothes. And, like, Belle Aubrey was like, the YouTube algorithm is not stupid. And that's true, but it's not smart either, because it's an algorithm, it's a computer, it's not listening to every word you say and putting them all together and being like, okay, so this means this means that. No, it flags certain words, and if you use words like, and I'm gonna have to spell it out here because I don't want to get flagged by the algorithm, but if you say PROANA, then it's going to get flagged. And that was what Belle Aubrey said in her video about Eugenia Cooney. But Eugenia doesn't use that word. She tries her best to stay away from any talk related to that. So that is why the algorithm does not flag her videos. It's not. It's because Eugenia doesn't say that. She doesn't talk about it. So for Belle to sit there and say, but YouTube agrees with me, so then my question to her is, then why don't they take down her videos? And the answer to that question is one that Belle Aubrey herself has said. YouTube is not taking them down because Eugenia Cooney gets a lot of views and she makes them a lot of money. So that's why they're not taking it down. Like, YouTube, they're going to put that in their terms of service because they want to appear like they care. But when it comes down to it, like, they're not exactly putting it in an effort to really crack down on this. They just have certain words that the algorithm will pick up on, and then the video will be flagged. I've had that in multiple of my videos, and part of it is because
Do you really think that the YouTube algorithm is this stupid that they can't detect that they can't see that this content was very obviously not pro-Anna? By that logic, anytime anyone talks about eating disorders online, their videos could also get taken down for being pro-Anna. Why has this only happened with me? I don't think Willy genuinely believes that my video was taken down because YouTube's almighty algorithm couldn't tell that my video wasn't actually pro-Anna. I think he's just acting ignorant because he's trying to discredit the proof that I have that YouTube sees this as a problem and is doing nothing about it. The only thing that I can possibly think—
I don't think the algorithm can really understand my speech patterns, and that's another issue with algorithms, is they're set one way to pick up one way of speaking, and if you speak differently, they don't really know how to interpret that, I guess. I'm not a technology person, even though I'm on YouTube. But my point is that Belle Aubrey disproved her own point because the algorithm. If YouTube really agreed with Belle Aubrey, would they not be taking down Eugenia Cooney's videos? And the last thing I'm going to touch on in this video is misogyny and homophobia. And this is where I do agree with Belle Aubrey. Willy Mack seems to
of content creators who are women or LGBT, and that he calls our content tea rather than commentary. Now, if you look at this clip from his video, what do you notice about every content creator on the screen right now? They're all either a woman or they're LGBT. So, let me get this straight. If you talk about current events on YouTube, then you're a T channel. Well, as long as you're LGBT or a woman. But if you're a straight guy, then it's just commentary, bro. It's kind of ridiculous that I am the one that's being accused of lying when he's lying, and we're not even 5 minutes into the video.
When a commentary channel is run by a woman or somebody who was assigned female at birth, or somebody who is part of the LGBTQ plus community, he calls commentary channels run by those people T channels. And now I don't think it takes some super intelligent person to realize that the word T channel is used often to put people down, to be like, oh, for a living you just gossip on the internet, and that is all you do. You don't do anything worth doing. And like I do agree that people like Willy Mack will often use that to put women down. But here's where I disagree with her. She spent the bulk of her video doing that, instead of focusing on some of the real issues Willy Mack had with her video on Eugenia Cooney. So she basically spent a lot of time deflecting and being like, oh, see, he's basically misogynistic. And I agree, I do think it's kind of misogynistic to say those things, but like, is that the hill you're going to die on? Or is it just because you're trying to deflect and be like, I don't want to talk about the issue at hand, so instead I'm going to change the subject and be like, this is the issue, this is the issue he has with my content. It's because I'm a woman doing commentary, so it's not really about him being upset that Eugenia Cooney is basically facing a bunch of hate for being sick. And that's pretty much all I really wanted to say today. I don't know if it made sense. I hope it did. If you learned something or if it made you think, please give this video a big thumbs up. And if you have not already and you are interested in seeing more of my content, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time.